still on the floor, my hands and knees barely keeping me from total collapse. But at the sight of her, I pushed myself up to stand. I needed to cover Zan's face. Even though he was dead, I needed to hide his face, didn't I? "What in all the gods' names happened?" she exclaimed in a hushed voice, stepping farther into the room and quickly closing the door behind her. Her wide eyes surveyed the scene, not missing anything. The disheveled bed, the lifeless prince, and finally my naked body covered in Zan's precious blood. It was too late to do anything, too late to disguise him. My lips parted to explain, but no sound came out. How could I possibly explain this? Not waiting for a response, Sagan hurried across the room. Her heavy skirt swished against the floor as she brushed me aside and hunched over Zan's body. Wait. Why wasn't she surprised? What the hell? "He's not dead," she declared after a moment, and I collapsed again. This time it was just to my knees as I clutched the bed covers and tried to visually confirm her claim. But she was wrong. I knew she was wrong. "His heart stopped beating," I told her, my voice a hoarse whisper after all my screaming. "I felt it. I felt it stop." Sagan turned to me with a condescending look on her face. "Well, clearly you'd make a shitty healer, because his heart is beating just fine. Here, feel." She grabbed my hand and slapped it onto the side of Zan's neck, pressing my fingers against his pulse. Holy Zrin's balls! He had a pulse. It wasn't strong by any means, but it was there, plain as day. But I blinked, frowning down at my bloody fingers against Zan's skin. He was dead. I'm sure of it. Sagan shrugged like she really didn't give a shit. Come to think of it, she didn't even seem the slightest bit shocked to see our etiquette and politics tutor in Prince Alexander's bed. He's not now, so what does it matter? She flicked a judgmental look at my nudity. Are you going to clean yourself up and put some clothes on? Or are we just going to pretend you're not totally naked and covered in blood? Suddenly feeling uncomfortable, I grabbed Zan's shirt from the floor and tugged it over my shoulders, holding the edges closed with one hand. I needed a damn good shower, but it would have to wait. Now that Zan wasn't dead, I had a bucket load of questions, starting with, "What are you doing in Prince Alexander's bedroom before dawn, Your Highness?" I crossed my arms over my chest and straightened my spine. My hands were still trembling, and my heart was thundering, but I was starting to get my strength back. It certainly wasn't the first time I'd seen someone die, or almost die, but it had been the first time that person had been someone I cared for. Shit. I cared for Prince Alexander. No, that wasn't true. I cared for Zan. His Royal Highness, Prince Alexander of Tate, could go fuck himself, and I'd be telling him as much when, if, he woke up. Sagan smirked at me, flipping her silky black hair over her shoulder. I don't have to explain myself to you, Callaluna. She sniffed and cast another look at Zan's motionless form. You might want to get him checked out and clean up this mess before anyone else sees it. I'm sure you have plenty of secrets you'd rather not explain to Lord Typanus under Inquisition. With that ominous warning, she whirled out of the room in a flurry of skirts and closed the door softly behind her, like she'd never been there. For a long moment, I stared at the closed door. Too many things weren't adding up. She hadn't been even remotely shocked to discover who had been hiding behind Prince Alexander's mask, and she had let herself into his bedroom as though she had been expected, like she'd been there before. Turning back to Zan, I sighed heavily and ran a hand over my face. You have got so much fucking explaining to do, I muttered, pressing my shaking fingers back to his pulse. It was still there, but Sagan was right. He needed to get checked out, and I knew just the person. Leaving Zan on the bed, I crossed the room to where I'd left my beautiful blue gown the night before. Sure enough, tucked between the folded fabric were the two other keys that I'd been given. One for Prince Louis and one for Prince Tybalt. Lee and Ty. It seems so painfully obvious now. Fuck. I was going to